My name is Aaron Jacobs.
My name is Rob Jimenez.
Hi, my name is Thomas Busby.
My name is Grace Vidad.
I'm a lieutenant with the San Francisco Fire Department. I've been here for 19 years.
I am a H-23 EMS lieutenant. I've been with the department for 10 years.
I am an acting lieutenant with San Francisco Fire Department. I've been with the department for 10 years.
I'm a lieutenant with the San Francisco Fire Department. I've been with the department for 24 years.
Currently, our H3 Level 1 Academy, so that's our EMT Academy, is 12 weeks long. And our H3 Level 2 Academy, which is our Paramedic Academy, is 8 weeks long.
The typical academy is about 20 weeks long. The one that we're starting now, starting July 28th, is going to be 21 weeks long because we have holidays. So it's like 5 months of hard work and training, but it's worth it in the end. It pays off. You'll be a San Francisco firefighter.
One of the things I like about this academy, about being out here with this group of instructors, are the instructors that I actually work with. These are top-notch quality people with a solid work ethic, and a lot of them are at least as OCD as I am, which makes me feel good. The other thing is having the support of the command staff with Captains Novo, Draper, and Chief Casper, as well as Chief Crispin as CD1. We feel like we're very supported here.
There's a lot of things I like about working out here at DOT. I would say one of my favorite things is how much kind of organic cross-pollination there is between not just fire suppression and EMS, but all of the many disciplines that go into getting our job done at the San Francisco Fire Department. There's so much, there's literally decades, if not centuries of experience out here, so much knowledge, and how openly it's shared and how much we we help each other. How can we help you? How can you help us? It kind of starts every morning just like any other workplace, around the table, drinking coffee, eating Cheerios. And when we get into, what's suppression doing today, what's EMS doing today, it quickly transitions into how can we kind of get that all accomplished together. I think to give a really good example that's come up recently, with some of our recent academies, when the Suppression Academy is working on their firefighter survival module, they've invited the EMS recruits to participate because at the end of the day, we need to know what they're doing, they need to know what we're doing. And so if they're working on, turnout removal, what we're going to do when a firefighter is pulled out of when you have a fallen firefighter is pulled out of a building, it doesn't matter. You can have the most experienced, well-versed suppression crew pulling that member out, and you can have the most experienced, competent ambulance crew outside waiting to receive that patient. If the handoff doesn't go well, it's really a matter of life or death. So why aren't we training together? And that's something we've really been working on. And it's really enjoyable to see the recruits from both sides working together, learning how to get those goals accomplished. I'd say that's really what I like most about it, and it's really, it's a really positive atmosphere, and it's really great to see that we have a membership and a command staff that support that goal and want to see us kind of bridging whatever gaps that still exist between those disciplines.
My favorite thing about being a part of Division of Training would be teaching and training new recruits that come through the academies, particularly the EMS academies and the paramedic academies. I just like watching them grow just from day one till the end of the academy.
My favorite thing about being at Division of Training is just helping prepare these young men and women to be the future of the San Francisco Fire Department.
A typical day at the Division of Training for an EMS recruit starts at 8 o'clock. Recruits trickle in around 6:45 to 7 a.m. They put their gear down in the classroom and they coordinate with who's going to be putting up the flag. If we have two academies going, a Suppression Academy, a Firefighting Academy, and a EMT and Paramedic Academy, usually the leaders of each academy will figure out which tasks need to be done before the start of lectures. So 8 o'clock is when the training staff enter the classrooms, and we start our day off with physical training. So we'll either run around Treasure Island, do calisthenics, or we'll come up with a circuit in the pavilion that consists of lifting weights, push-ups, pull-ups. After PT usually lasts about an hour, and then we go into lectures. So lectures last all day up until lunchtime, which is at noon. Sometimes we do have working lunches, which means one of the training lieutenants will lecture, and students will just have lunch at their desks. After lectures, there's more lectures, and we go into scenarios. Each group will break off, and they'll run medical skills, we'll do trauma skills, and then we'll go hands-on with medical equipment, just to familiarize themselves on how our restraints work and just basically how the equipment works in our department. And then we finish off the day around, we'll say 4 p.m. We'll assign them to do house duties for about 30 minutes or so, which is just cleaning up, throwing away trash in the classroom, putting away dishes in the kitchen. After house duties, one of the training lieutenants will have a end of the day PowerPoint presentation just to recap what we've learned throughout the day and what to expect and what to have ready for the next day.
All right, so a typical day as an EMS recruit starts early. Study hall starts at 7. We open up the gates and the recruits come in. They raise the flag, they get settled in the classroom, and they've got about an hour to review what we've learned so far, to get a head start on what's coming up, and that's kind of their time to get situated and get a head start on the day. 8 a.m. we line up outside on the dots, and we generally start with physical training. We'll make any announcements, we'll do a brief inspection, and then we'll get right into the physical training. The physical training is rigorous. We're really looking for kind of constant effort and improvement. That's our priorities. We try to work in as much functional training as possible. We're not just out there trying to get stronger, faster, and more mobile. We're also trying to make sure that you can do the job. So we incorporate a lot of our equipment, the gurneys, the stair chairs. We work with weighted mannequins, going up and down stairs, because that's a major part of the job. So we do about an hour of physical training. We'll give the recruits, 5, maybe 10 minutes to get back into their jumpsuits and boots. We go straight into the lecture content. We try to kind of load the more dense didactic material for the morning when everybody's blood is flowing. So the morning we usually spend in the classroom doing the lecture content, and then we break for lunch. The lunch is their time to make sure they're hydrated, get the food in, and then also use the time for studying. We make sure that our recruits have the materials that they need to get any extra practice in that they need during lunchtime. And then after lunch, we really get into our skills stations and scenarios, simulations, rather than just go back into more lecture content when everybody's fallen asleep. So we try to keep the afternoons kind of variable. We'll do some drills, and that'll take us up until about 1600 when we do house duties, which is actually kind of more important than it sounds. It's not just about cleaning up after ourselves. It's really about making sure that the recruits are taking ownership over the facility and the equipment. And it's another area where we encourage the EMS recruits to work with the suppression recruits to get the job done. So maybe the EMS recruits will take the bathrooms one day, and the suppression recruits will make sure that the grounds are cleaned up and the weeds are pulled. So we'll get in our house duties, clean up after ourselves, make sure the facility is looking proper. And then just before we end for the day, we'll do a quick overview of what we covered that day, what we want them to study for the next day. So we'll spend about 10 minutes kind of debriefing, and then there's another hour of study hall. And we really encourage all the recruits to stay for that extra hour so that they have access to the equipment, they have access to the instructors. And if our recruits use their time wisely and they get here early and they stay late, it really sets them up for success so they can go home, walk the dog, kiss their loved ones, review anything they have to review, and come back and do it again the next day.
All right, typical day for a recruit, 0800, they're going to line up on the dots, go through inspection. Then right after that, they will do PT, we'll work them out for about an hour. Then they'll have a lecture or two at about 9 for an hour or two. After that, they will do some skills in the morning. We'll set them up for skills. Then they'll go to lunch for about an hour. In the afternoon, we'll do more skills. They'll rotate through skills. And we will do that all the way through the afternoon until about 4 p.m. or so. And then they'll do some housework. Then they'll have a little meeting at the end of the day. And then we'll do 2 hours of after-hour training for extra touches. That's a typical day of a recruit.
Expectations that I personally have for new recruits that I see walking through the gates is just having a good attitude, being positive, just being ready to work. It is a grind being in these academies because all your time is taken up just studying and just going over San Francisco Fire Department policies and protocols, and it is information overload. And so I just want to see recruits just doing their best and having a positive attitude. And the staff here, the training staff, we can definitely see the ones that are giving it their all and the ones that are a little more relaxed. But that's what I primarily want to see in new recruits.
I really expect our new recruits to come in prepared. Sometimes you don't have a whole bunch of notice, whether it's 2 days, 2 weeks, 2 months. We expect you to use your time wisely so that you come in here as prepared as possible. That means getting a head start on reviewing county policies and protocols, or starting to get into shape physically, but really it's also about the major lifestyle changes that you're getting into. So kind of clearing your schedule, letting your families and friends and loved ones know that you know, your time's going to be a little bit tight for the next 8 to 12 weeks, but really coming in prepared with realistic expectations of what your academy life is going to look like. So preparedness is a big one. Be humble, know your limitations. Don't come in here expecting to kind of dazzle anyone. We do have recruits who come in with a lot of knowledge and experience, but you know, we expect you to come in knowing your weaknesses, kind of lead with your weaknesses, and be upfront about what you know you're going to need to work on. I think that most recruits, if they think about it, they'll know what's going to be challenging for them. And the more they're aware of that and the more honest they are with us, the better we can help them succeed.
My expectations for new recruits are just make sure, you know, work hard, make sure you're doing this for the right reasons, give it your all, listen, try not to talk, try to be quiet, listen as much as possible, be like a sponge, soak up as much information, and like I say, go back to work hard.
My expectations of recruits are to come in with an excessively positive attitude and a willingness to learn and be humble.
What we would like to see from a recruit by the time they're ready to graduate is that they have pretty much all the fundamentals down. Can they throw a ladder? Can they give me water? Can they lead a line through a door and go, you know, so just all the fundamentals. If they can get the fundamentals down, then they go out to the field and they learn how to do it in real life. So just being fundamentally sound is what we're looking for.
At the point of a recruit's graduation, I would love to see that recruit come out feeling confident, but remain extremely humble and maintain a thirst to continue to learn.
I'd say when it gets to the end of an academy and we have a class of recruits that are ready to hit the field and they've succeeded in the academy, what I would like to see in a recruit at the end of the process is a lot of what I'd like to see from them coming in, that they have that humility, and that eagerness and that integrity. Um, uh, I want to see all of that at the end just as much as I want to see in the beginning. I think one of the things that I sort of emphasize with the recruits and also with new hires is that we're not really looking for perfection. We are looking for effort and the ability to constantly improve, constantly make yourself better at your job. But at the end of the day, when you graduate this academy, you need to be able to meet the standard. You need to be able to live up to the San Francisco Fire Department's values, be loyal to its mission statement, and know the standards and uphold them. I'd say that's a big part of it. But I think that I really do like to emphasize that there's always going to be room for improvement, and that personal and professional growth is a major asset in this job, and just kind of being open to advice and feedback. One thing that's really frustrating is when we do have a recruit who gets through the process and is very successful, and performs well in the academy and during field evaluations, but then they kind of stop there and they think they've got it all figured out. They think that they're at the finish line already, when really it's just once you're done with the academy, that's really the starting line. So I would say just knowing where you're at, knowing where your knowledge gaps still exist, and being eager to fill those in and constantly improve.
At the end of the academy, what I want to see in the recruits is just overall improvement in their self, improvement in their physical capabilities, and just overall growth. I know I've witnessed it. I've been a part of 2 academies, and I've seen recruits, whether it just be something as simple as improving their time when we do physical training, running a mile. If they improve their time by 10 seconds, that's great. Or just covering knowledge gaps with EMS. Certain medication dosages can be tricky, but towards the end of the academy, a lot of the recruits know their dosages and know the EMS policies and protocols really well. So that's what I'd like to see.
Some of the advice I would give for recruits coming into the academy would be to stay physically healthy, mentally healthy, maintain a positive attitude, and enjoy it. Enjoy it for what it's worth, because it'll never happen again.
3 things that I would suggest that anyone interested in becoming a San Francisco firefighter recruit: run, work out, try to be as disciplined as possible, and make sure you're doing it for the right reason.
Some advice that I would give to new recruits entering the academies would be to prioritize their mental health and well-being, get adequate amount of sleep, make sure you have a solid foundation support system-wise, whether it be immediate family or leaning on the recruits in the academy that you're going to be in. Also knowing the policies and protocols of San Francisco, as well as reading the recruit handbook.
I think if you're considering a career with the San Francisco Fire Department, there are definitely some steps you can take to make yourself a more standout candidate and to really set yourself up for success. I think that just thinking about it practically, you want to really make sure that you have all your necessary licensure and certification in order, because once you do get into the application process and the hiring process, you can kind of get picked up at any time, and you want to be ready to hit the ground running. I would say to that end, you also want to start working on, getting in shape, making sure that you're physically able to do the job, and talk to people. Kind of be a sponge. Talk to people who work with the department. There's opportunities to volunteer with the department, and really start spending time with people who are doing what you're interested in doing, who are where you want to be, just so you can see if it's right for you. I mean, it's a rigorous process. It's a difficult job, and there's no sense in going through it all if it's not right for you. So a big part of it's just figuring out if it's right for you. And I would say once you do get into the process and you're anticipating getting hired and starting an academy, really try to be that empty vessel. Try to be a clean slate. Don't bring us your baggage. Leave your baggage and your bad habits and your ego at the door, and be prepared to just learn more. And even our recruits that come in with a lot of knowledge and experience, that's all obviously really valuable, and you're going to be able to put it to good work. But as a recruit, you really need to be able to just kind of listen and learn, and and be on the receiving end of it.
One of the biggest thing that goes on behind the scenes here at the Division of Training is preparation. And this is something that the administration has given us a lot of leeway on. So we come in early, we stay late, we prepare, we do every skill multiple times that the recruits are going to be doing. And that allows us to teach them in a much more consistent and cohesive way, make sure we're all on the same page and make sure we're all doing it right in order to teach the recruits properly and appropriately.
There's so much that happens behind the scenes at Division of Training, and I would say that it was something that it's a part of the job. It's a huge part of the job that I was completely kind of blindsided by when I first started working out here. I mean, just the amount of paperwork and administrative work and keeping up with making sure that all of our training records and reports are up to date. So much documentation, so much like just organization, making sure that when our recruits are successful in the academy or are not successful, that we have all of their records organized so that we can back that up on paper. Our decision, or ultimately our recommendation that they move on, we need to be able to back that up. And then the other thing that takes up a lot of our time and a lot of our bandwidth is really just working with other entities within the department and outside. So, we're constantly working with headquarters and with HR and with payroll and with Station 49 and with, community paramedicine and with the clothing depot and with the, trying to secure sites. Where can we do our EVOC training? Where can we hold this graduation because it's a slightly bigger class than last time, or the facility we used last time is no longer available? There's so much of that, the behind the scenes, the real, just kind of making phone calls and making sure our paper trails are in order, making sure we're constantly communicating with Chief Treff and with the command staff, because there's a lot of eyes on us, and we got to make sure that our ducks are in a row all the time. So for whatever is going on in the classroom or on the yard, there's a whole nother side of it that's happening in the office, and it's not necessary. I don't think anybody will tell you it's the most fun part of the job, but it's definitely a major part of it. It's as important as anything we're doing in the classroom. So
what happens behind the scenes, everyone might not be aware of, just the amount of hours that we put in with these recruits. We have the regular time from 0800 to 1700. But then we do after hours from 1700 to 1900. We also do on Saturdays from 0800 to 1200 hours, so 12 noon. So just the amount of time, extra time that we put in with these recruits to get them ready to go out to the field to be firefighters here in San Francisco.
A lot of stuff happens behind the scenes just because we don't have a EMS or paramedic or suppression academy happening. There's so many things that happen behind the scenes. We do probationary testing for members not only on the EMS side, but we do probationary testing 6 months to 1 year for the suppression members. We have several tasks that are given to us by the chiefs, whether it's putting together an ambulance voodoo class so that members can pick up overtime, to organizing the rooms and making sure they're presentable and equipment is in good working order. to going over expired medications, which is a huge task and really difficult to do at times, or going over the lecture material, updating PowerPoints to make sure that they coincide with the policies and protocols, because there's so many policy and protocol changes that happen throughout the year. So we want to make sure that we're giving out and teaching correct information.
One last bit of advice: be an adult. Stay off of social media. Don't drink. Don't be stupid. Don't wear your t-shirt during probation on your off time. Be smart.